Welcome to Subatomic Workshop. Today I'm making Harry Potter Snitch Christmas ornaments for my wife. I tried three different methods in this video. Here I unfolded a paper clip and am heating up the end to push through the plastic ornament. I heated up the paper clip twice and went from each side. Now I realized the propane torch was overkill and just used a lighter for the second side. Now after getting the paper clip roughly in the middle, I gave it some bend to look like wings in motion. I then set it up and hot glued the paper clip in place. And the feathers that I'm using on this one are from Walmart, and they were very fluffy, and the ends were much more fine, so I wanted to go ahead and use the fine parts since they look more like the wings in the movie. And I started off by trying to glue them straight onto the paper clip, and it was a mess, nothing stuck. So I ended up changing that to wrapping masking tape around the paper clip to give it more surface area to try to, stay in place. And on the tape, I tried both hot glue and super glue. Both were still messy and looked like crap. So I ended up deciding just to cover it with the full wing and trim it to length and try again with another one. Now, the second method, I would, I guess, consider it an industrial organic look if such a thing exists. What I went ahead and did is I had some floral wire that I cut at different lengths and ended up twisting them together in my drill. I then went ahead and drilled two matching holes on either side of the ornament to be able to place the twisted wire through. And I would recommend if you do anything like this to go ahead and cut all the pieces of wire the same length from the start. It would make it a lot easier to get the twisted piece through as the shorter ones kept getting stuck on the inside and it took a while with some needle nose pliers and lots of bending to get it to fit through correctly. So after fighting with it for a while, I finally was able to get it all the way through. And once I did, I kind of got into the shape I wanted and then started unwrapping the wires to create individual feathers on the wings and then cut them into the shape from the movies. and I had planned on sandpapering off the green from the floral wire and having it be silver. But once I had the ornament together like this, I realized that all the nooks and crannies in the floral wire I wouldn't be able to get, so I went ahead and sprayed it with some gray that I had, as I didn't have any silver and I don't know what the silver actually looks like. It's dark, but hopefully it'll be alright once it's on the tree. Now, the third method I would only suggest if you are a masochist or you have a better solution to holding the pieces in place than I did. The concept of this was to have the silver wings with fine metal feathers. So I started off by straightening out a paper clip as best as I could, cut it into even lengths, and heated them up and put them into the ornament. I then sanded the floral wire down and cut them into varying lengths to create the triangle shape. And I knew glue here wouldn't work, so I hoped soldering them would work. And I started off by putting some solder on the paper clip and aligning the feathers, so all I'd have to do is heat the solder and they'd stick. But boy, was I wrong. It did not work. It moved everything around. The soldering iron was magnetic, and so it kept moving everywhere. And when the solder was liquid, it would pick them up and move the pieces because they were so light. And I knew clamping wouldn't work, so the only thing I could think of was tape to hold them in place, and it still didn't work. It would melt the adhesive, it wouldn't stick right, they'd still move all over. And the video here I have doesn't show all the movement and problems I had. I was too busy messing with that to get it on video apparently, but it was a huge pain. I tried to solder thin to have it less noticeable, but it kept not sticking, so I overkilled it with the solder and tried grinding it back. It's not as delicate as I had planned, but I figured I'd make it a little uglier instead of killing myself from frustration. So if you have any comments on what I could have done different to make this easier on myself or any ideas you have, I'd love to hear them. And thanks for watching.